Hello, this is Franklin McMahon from MediaArtist.com and also from the Creative Cow podcast, and we are at the Creative Cow today. We're going to talk about Macromedia Flash Professional 8. Lots of very cool features in this new version, and we're going to buzz through a bunch of stuff. We're going to take a quick look at strokes, undo libraries, and ease in, ease out. Everyone together say ease in, ease out. We're going to talk about that too. So let's get into it. Let me draw a quick stroke, and I'll show you a couple of new features. Oh, look at that. As you can see down here, there's some new options here for joining multiple strokes together in different ways, and also for capping off. Right now we're on none. We're going to go to round. Hopefully you can see that. And square. And we can go back to none. Probably the biggest news is some of the ways that you can actually add gradients to strokes and adjust it. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to go to a linear stroke. And as you can see, boom, it's right there. Pretty easy to adjust, and if you want to switch to a different type of gradient or color or what have you. Now the overflow is right here, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. Let me go to the transform tool and click. See this arrow right here? This allows you to adjust in real time how much overflow you have, and you'll see when I go down. So this allows you to actually, I'm going to make the stroke bigger just so you can see it. Okay, this allows you to really fine-tune and adjust. You can rotate down there and continue to adjust. Now the overflow, there's different overflow options, and you'll see what happens. See that? That is pretty darn cool. Now again, pretty simple, a great addition, especially if you do a lot of gradients and gradients on strokes or different things. It's certainly much easier now to control the overflow and to change some of the options here. So again, rotating, very cool. Okay, that was pretty cool, but we have even more to go. So let me just delete that for a second. Now, one thing I just wanted to point out: this is in the preferences, and this is pretty big news. And I'm just going to point it out. I won't actually do an example, but I just wanted you to check on this. There's now most programs like this actually have a document level undo, which is pretty standard. It just kind of you can track back and hit undo and go back through your mistakes or your changes. But now there's an object level undo. And I'm actually going to explain what that is. Say you have two objects, you can actually undo back on multiple objects at the same time. So if you have one object, you can undo it, switch to the other object, and you can undo on that all your changes. Very cool. And remember, this has to be changed for your session. So you can actually start document level or start object level. But experiment with that, play around with that. It's a pretty powerful feature and good if you're working with multiple objects at once. So one other thing we want to talk about is the libraries. You can now actually switch between libraries. Now I have two projects open, and as you can see, I've got a library here which has just a symbol right there. And then we're going to go to the other one, which has that right there. Now, before it was a little harder to go between different libraries, but now it's very easy. So I'm right here with my first project, and I can easily switch to my alternate library. Now you can actually have multiple libraries open up at the same time, which I'm going to do right now. So again, if you deal with a lot of different elements, you can have multiple libraries opened up. You can swap between the two, save them. Very easy to manage, certainly compared to the previous version. Okay, we're going to go over ease in and ease out. I'm going to do a very basic animation here. Let me just set this up. And like so. And actually I'm going to move this over here. And I'm going to make this a tween. Okay, so we've got a very basic tween here. A pretty simple movement. There's the Creative Cow going back and forth. Now, it's very linear. In other words, it doesn't have a lot of movement. It doesn't really work as you might expect it. Any type of movement. Imagine if you're bouncing a basketball. There's a certain ease in and ease out. Now, in previous versions, it was pretty difficult to kind of adjust these different things. I'm going to click right on the keyframe here. If you had to do ease in, ease out, it was much more difficult. It is much more easy now. I'm going to click Edit right there. and you have the ease in, ease out properties right here. Now this is very, very cool. I'm going to actually just click 2 clicks right there, and you'll see pretty quickly what happens. So a little bit of a, oh, let's look at that again. That was kind of cool. Yeah, very, very cool. And now this looked very easy, and you know what? It was very easy. And I have to say, in previous versions, it was very difficult to do that. Again, you can accelerate very slightly if you want. You can do that again. So this is very cool, especially for moving objects around. Now, one last cool thing I want to show you is you can set various parameters, and I'm going to actually go and yep, here we go, rotation, scale, color, filters. You know, this could be a whole tutorial in itself, but really experiment and play around with this, because you can actually do a lot of very cool stuff with easing in and easing out, and this actually makes it so much better and so much easier to control all your elements on the page. So let me cancel out of that. So that's about it. Those are some of the new features. The strokes, obviously, experiment with those. The undo is very, very powerful depending on what mode you use, and the fact that you can switch to different libraries, and of course ease in, ease out, boom, you just click edit and you are right there, and you can actually add as many points as you want and really go crazy, reset at any time. So those are some of the new features of Flash Professional 8.